everybody.
Morning.
I feel so lucky to be an active member of this church. Back in 2002, Fred and I came and joined the church. In 2003, we were married here. We were so happy to be here. In 2009, we went crazy, or I did, and we went away for a little while. But we came back in 2020, and when we walked in the door, the first thing they asked me was, I going to do homecoming? Could I run the computer? Could I do this? Could I do that? So they welcomed me back, and Fred saying, we needed y'all. Where have you been? It's been an honor for me to research the history of this church. 124 years of basically a lot of the same families that started this church, the same bloodline, are still attending this church. That's unheard of. You don't hear about that anywhere. And I'm just so lucky to get to know y'all. The church congregation has always had a vision for the future of the church and the community of West Bay. It was noted in our records back in 1899 that many changes were going to happen in West Bay in the coming years. Sometimes it seemed like time moved slowly. The church saw up times, the Depression, and good times of rebuilding and hope. The congregation, the people that remained steadfast and strong in their faith and trust in the Lord to see them through all of these times. It wasn't the building, it was the people. Around 1898 to 1899, J.T. Johnson was one of the founders of the West Bay Church. He came in a ship called the Gospel Ship. It was a little bigger than that one up there, but that's a replica of it. And he held services on the fourth Saturday and Sunday in the one-room schoolhouse that was across the street. I heard somebody talking about that. He used to go to that one-room schoolhouse. This here did. Where'd he go? Oh, never mind. The church at that time was the Second Advent Christian Church. Long about 1916, they decided to change it to the Advent Christian Church. They took the second out. In 1924, the congregation was growing, and the church decided that it needed to build a real church building. Mr. and Mrs. O.A. Buchanan Sr. donated the land for the church, and the Ladies' Aid Society, now known as the Women's Home and Foreign Missions Society, was appointed to start collecting funds for the new church. They did so by selling box lunches, homemade ice cream, and making quilts. They raised $215. In January 1925, the building supplies were purchased. The building was built for the total cost of $473, including labor. No. And there's a replica of the first church over in the annex building. The first service was held in the new church August 8th, 1925. So they got busy and had it done in 8 months. W.J. Jones was the pastor. In 1937, electricity was added. The church was growing. New Sunday school rooms were added in 1945. Land for the education building was donated by Mr. and Mrs. Wallace Laird. Around 1957, the church had a radio broadcast. I thought that was pretty cool. That lasted until the mid-60s. During this time, V.H. Helms, Philip Griffin, Angus Griffin, O.A. Bailey, T.S. Warren, George Lane were pastors in this church. The first parsonage was purchased in 1967, and I think I remember it was over near Randall Road. The new parsonage was constructed in 1999 and continues to be lived in today. Now back here. We've had 38 pastors or interim pastors and lay people lead our congregation. And reading through the history, a lot of those Buchanan boys were real popular back then. And we were lucky to get them. So, the congregations has never, since the beginning, has never lost sight of the beliefs. We believe in the second coming of Christ and that he wants us to keep working until he comes again. The last couple of years have been tough. COVID caused us to close or cancel services for weeks at a time. Thanks to Pastor Skipworth and the board of directors, the doors were reopened and in-person services started back as soon as it was deemed safe. Even through all this, the church remained a vital part of the community with our outreach programs and taking care of the West Bay Cemetery, checking on each other, shut-ins, and providing backpacks for children at the West Bay Elementary School, the Angel Tree for the kids who might not get Christmas presents, feeding the community with a food drive, and our blessing box that feeds the hungry in our community that we keep filled every day. And Vacation Bible School. That was a lot of fun. Our services also broadcast on Facebook, so we're right up in with the times. We also support our missionaries who serve in foreign lands. We may be small in number, but we can do big things when we continue to work together and serve our Lord. As Reba said in the past, we're a small church with a big heart. We thought our church building was going to be sold, and this might be our last homecoming in this building. But the Lord said that wasn't our time yet. It wasn't time for us to move. We still have the building on the market, and who knows what the future is going to bring. We still will be West Bay Adventist Christian Church because the people who attend and worship together are the church. It's not the building. And it doesn't matter where we move to or if we stay here the rest of our lives. We're happy that you chose today to attend our service, and we hope that you'll come join us as members of our church and help us continue to be a vital part of our community. Thank you. And thanks to everybody here, because everybody worked on homecoming, not just me.